Happy Friday, guys. You made it to the end of yet another week. Good job. Today, I have a God sighting, a real quick one. I received some fun mail. I don't know if any of you have been getting anything in the mail, cards, notes, whatever, but I got a fun package from one of my friends, and it just lifted my spirits. It made me giggle. She went to great lengths to make my package fun, and it just really lifted my heart. Maybe you want to send some fun mail to somebody to lift their hearts this week. Draw a picture, write a note, tell somebody that you miss them, and drop it in that mailbox so that they can go and they can receive some fun mail as well. Well, today's message, I'm actually going to read to you, instead of out of my Bible, I'm going to read it off my tablet, and I'm going to read the International Children's Version. It is an incredibly easy to understand version, and I think a lot of times when we're reading the parables and things that Jesus taught, stories that he told, they come to life even more in a version like this. Very simple to understand. So I'm going to read today out of the book of Matthew. We're going to be in Matthew chapter 13. We're going to be starting in verse 1. I'm going to read a portion, and then we're going to skip down to verse 18. And Jesus actually explains the story that we read first. Then we'll get to hear his explanation. At the end of our Bible reading today and a little bit of chatting from me, I'm going to put a link at the end of this post. Again, it's a really short video. It's about 2.5 minutes or so, and it's an animated story of this parable. It's really well done. Really fun to watch. So I hope you take a moment to click on that and to watch that parable as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully you are on Matthew chapter 13, and it starts like this. That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Large crowds gathered around him, so Jesus got into a boat and sat, while the people stayed on the shore. Then Jesus used stories to teach them many things. He said, a farmer went out to plant his seed. While he was planting, some seed fell by the road. The birds came and ate all that seed. Some seed fell on rocky ground where there wasn't enough dirt. That seed grew very fast because the ground was not deep. But when the sun rose, the plants dried up because they did not have deep roots. Some other seed fell among thorny weeds. The weeds grew and choked the good plants. Some other seed fell on good ground where it grew and became grain. Some plants made 100 times more grain. Other plants made 60 times more grain. And some made 30 times more grain. Let those with ears use them and listen, he says. Now we're going to skip down to verse 18 where Jesus explains what his story means. It says this, so listen to the meaning of that story about the farmer. What is the seed that fell by the road? That seed is like the person who hears the teaching about the kingdom, but does not understand it. The evil one comes and takes away the things that were planted in that person's heart. And what is the seed that fell on rocky ground? That seed is like the person who hears the teaching and quickly accepts it with joy. But he does not let the teaching go deep into his life. He keeps it only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the teaching he accepted, then he quickly gives up. And what is the seed that fell among the thorny weeds? That seed is like the person who hears the teaching but lets worries about this life and love of money stop that teaching from growing. So the teaching does not produce fruit in that person's life. But what is the seed that fell on the good ground? That seed is like the person who hears the teaching and understands it. That person grows and produces fruit, sometimes 100 times more, sometimes 60 times more, and sometimes 30 times more. In this story, Jesus is telling us that it's really important what kind of soil we plant our seeds in. Because if we plant it in yucky soil, it's not going to grow. But he's actually not talking about seeds in soil. He's talking about God's word and us. You see, he wants us to be in an environment where his His word can take root and grow in our lives. Jesus is the one who makes us grow. Jesus is the one who grows our heart, our minds, and he grows us into a really close friendship with him. He does not want us to wither up like the seed on the rocky soil. He wants us to continue to grow. And to do that, we need to be in God's word and we need to stay close to Jesus. I hope you enjoyed our story and our parable today. I'm also going to post a picture of our crystals. I think that's the best way to do it. Sometimes when the sun is shining just right in the window, I can see them growing. There's more growing on the top of our jars and the bottom of our jars than there are on the actual items in the jar, but I'll snap a picture and I'll put that in the comments below as well. Hey, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Love you guys, miss you guys. I will join you again on Monday. Take care.